Okie dokie artichoke. Okie dokie artichoke. Okie dokie. Okie dokie then. Devil Alex here first again. Unbelievable. Consistently the first viewer. It's genuinely impressive. It is genuinely impressive. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hello. Hello. Hey. Hey. How you doing? 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 Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. I'm back. Your mic is shitty. Hold on.
All right. Now it's good, right? Now it's good. Right? Hello? Hello? It's good now, right? It's good now. I fixed it. We're golden. Yeah. My bad. 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 It's genuinely impressive. Bro, you had a red spot in your nose, but now you just look ridiculous. You have no idea. I'll show you the difference. If you think... Would you prefer that? Would you prefer that? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You know damn... Yeah, that's a big oof. That's a big oof. That's a big oof. What happened? I had a zit, and then the zit got a sunburn. Unbelievable. Hi, Weenie. Hi, Mama. You okay? You okay? She's looking at me with disgust. But yeah, no, the star will stay on for today's video because I promise you it looks better. I know it looks ridiculous, but I promise you it looks better than the actual zit. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Hey, Wagwan. Hi, everybody. Spain won yesterday. I know. That's what happens when you have Rabbi Shmuley on your side, Argentina. Get fucked. Get fucked. I will take a gander at the doc, you tussy. However, I have a bunch of links ready to go. You know how it is. You know how it is. And I'm assuming this is going to be long as fuck because I missed a weekend. Oh, I guess not. I guess not. We have a lot to talk about today, though, guys. We have a lot to talk about. But I will take a look. Hello, Shag. Hello to the mods. Hello to everybody who is here. Anyway, let's see. New interview with Mitch McConnell. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Let's see. Cuba, the capitalist 21st century of communism. Explosion outside a New York federal building caused by fireworks. No, it wasn't. You could watch the guy pour fucking gasoline on the ground and then light it on fire. It was absolutely not... Hold on. Guy pours gasoline and lights it. It wasn't caused by fireworks whatsoever. Yeah, here's the fucking video of the guy doing it. Fireworks.
Oh my
Fireworks. God. The people are pissed off, folks. The people are pissed off. You gotta understand, this is the immigration facility. This is where, like, ICE plans its operations in New York City. So, like, this is 100%. It has the Valenti Video seal of approval. This has the Valenti Video seal of approval. Nelson ahead of me with the thumbie. What do we got? Let's see the thumbie from Big Daddy Nelson. Oh! Oh, God! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, you gotta get me in there with the star on my nose. You gotta get me in there with the star on my nose. Hold on. Let me back up for the shot. Ready? Here's the shot. Ready? Hold on, wait. I'll give you a better shot. Here's the better shot. How's that? How's that? How's that? How's that? The fit is iconic? Oh, the fit is iconic as fuck. Look at the fit. Look at the fit. Hey, let me put it all on 27. I'll tell you what happened. I'm at the fucking roulette table, and I walk in. I got $450 in chips. Slap it on 27. Guy says to me, he goes, "Is that your lucky number or something?" I go, "Yes, it is." And he looks at me like he's about to stab a child that he does not want to stab. And he goes, watching, and I'm like, "Come on, 27. Come on, 27. Come on, 27." And I do not hit. It hits 8. It hits 8. Is that naval camo you're wearing? Yes, it's an optical illusion so that enemy ships can't tell how far I actually am. Weenie! Weenie! Hi, Weenie. Doing? Big stretch. Big stretch. Oh, wow, yeah, wow. Dancing, wow. The chipmunk. Why would you do that? What did you just do? Break the couch? You checking? Yeah, I think she was checking. Good job, Mama. All right. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. I need you full body saluting and move the chair out of the way. Copy that. Full body salute with the chair out of the way. Okay. How's this? Ready? Is that good? Is that good? Is that good? Does that work? I think it works. Oh, Jesus. Weenie, what are you doing? Weenie! I left Luigi with my mom for the weekend, and I found her with 2 fucking ticks on her face, right on her chin. I had to rip them off. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right. What the fuck is this? What the fuck are you doing? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is going to be so fucked at the end of it. I'm just going to let him cook. I'm going to look away now, Nelson, and I'm just going to let you cook. All right? Alrighty. Let's keep looking at the docutussi a little bit, because there's got to be a little bit more. But yeah, no, so this was not fireworks.
Oh my god!
Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. All right, let's see. Chibi service announcement? What is Chibi? I don't know what the fuck that was. But it's great. It's great. It's great. Beekeeper calmly handles a huge bee swarm on his body. Okay. No! 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 Think, Mark! We cannot be bees! That's the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. Holy fuck. How strong are his genes? Dude, his whole fucking ankles are out. His ankles are out. Oh god, that's terrible. No, that's terrible. We struck the site of the Darkovan nuclear power plant. Yeah, Trump said he was going to start doing that. I'll include that over here with my other drop site news coverage. Yeah, we already talked about Yemen's announcing the maritime blockade of Saudi Arabia, but I'll include that. All right, what else? What else? What else? I have that ready. I saw this. The billboard of Trump in a coffin. Fucking crazy. Yep, Zoran said he would arrest him. I know that. FBI will no longer investigate ICE confrontations. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I love it. 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 Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard's brother arrested for being a pedophile and trying to lure children in with candy into a hotel. Know about that. Thank you for the $10. Just got out of a toxic relationship today. I'm chilling at my new partner's place. You got out of that relationship today and you've already got a new partner? Are you sure you weren't the toxic one, you sick son of a bitch? I'm just kidding. Your streams and vids always brighten my day. Keep up the great work, Chris. Now shut up and take my money. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'm glad you got out of whatever toxic situation you were in. Listen to the noise among the kingdoms, the sounds of nations gathering together. What the fuck is this? Oh. Everybody hates him.
On the field.
Fucking fat pedophile piece of shit, cocksucking fascist motherfucker. Honest commentary from the Germans.
Augenhöhe zu absolvieren. Ein Finale auf Augenhöhe zu absolvieren. Tja. Und das der Verstoß gegen alle Regeln, wenn der WM-Pokal extra dem Präsidenten auf den Schoß gelegt wird. Trump und Infantino. Da haben sich zwei gesucht und gefunden.
They absolutely were. Two of the most corrupt men in human history.
Und von sich selbst auch.
Shout out the Germans, man. The Germans have had a real 180, you know? The Germans went from being these fucking fascist bastards to being like, yeah, well, listen, I know fascism very well. My grandfather was a fascist bastard. Und Donald, the king, he is a Führer. He is such piece of shit fascist dog, man. He is such scumbag, evil piece of shit and fucking cock and balls and yeah. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the ultimate rebrand, Chatter. It's the ultimate fucking rebrand. Anyway, yeah, I might include a little bit of that Trump trying to crash, and then they can edit him out. Yeah, they tried to usher him off, and he refused to leave, and then...
In 2026, the champions of the...
They did edit him out of it. That's the last thing I should pull up. Hold on. Trump edited out of Spain victory photo. Yeah, they fucking edited him out. Why is that such shit quality? Let me pull it up on Twitter. That'll be better. Trump edited out of Spain victory photo. Yeah, they fucking edited him out of it. He was right here. He was right here, chat. They fucking edited him out. That's so fucking funny, dude. He's gonna be so mad when he finds out. Oh, he's gonna be so fucking mad when he finds out, man. I'm telling yous. I'm telling yous. I'm telling yous. All right, it looks like we got plenty to roll with today. Let me also just real quick, let me pop off on Instagram, let him know that I'm live. That's so funny. Okay. Hey there, handsome. I'm live on YouTube right now. We're going to be talking about the 17 dead U.S. soldiers, the hundreds of U.S. casualties across the Middle East who are fighting and dying in the name of pedophilia during Operation Epstein's Fury because the United States of America is sending the Legion of Goyim to fight Israel's war for them. The Legion of Goyim is the United States of America. We're also going to be talking about the price of the war, which has hit $113 billion, or at least that's what they're willing to admit. I'm assuming it's closer to $1 trillion. We're going to talking about how the price of gasoline is escalating, how the United States of America just bombed an Iranian nuclear power plant. The IAEA is freaking out. We're going to be talking about Tom Homan, the fat piece of shit head of ICE, the one who sounds like he's got marbles in his mouth, you know what I mean? Literally crying at the White House, going, ICE agents have families too! I have to bring a security guard when I go to buy a carton of milk! Shut the fuck up, you fat motherfucking fascist piece of shit. And then Trump trying to stay in the victory photo for Spain, but they edited him out. He's gonna be so fucking mad when he finds out. But yeah, lots to talk about live on YouTube. Come check it out. YouTube, Valenti Videos, YouTube. Hey there, come join the live stream. Handsome. Alrighty, thanks for becoming a loyalist there. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Can y'all shut the fuck up and argue about cheating in DMs or something? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Delish. All right. Talk about how we can't leave the U.S. anymore, or Trump said that Canada is invading by air. I'll throw that in there a little bit, but yeah. I'm pretty sure the Department of Homeland Security is like issuing warnings that left-wing extremists, if you leave the country, you're not coming back. Happens. Anyway, what's on your nose? It's a what is it called? A pimple patch. It's hiding a sunburnt pimple that makes me look like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Fuck Deer. So, you're my daily news source. You can't trust anyone anymore. You know, that's why I do what I do. Because here at the Valenti Videos broadcast, this is a great transition. This is real independent media. You know what? I shouldn't do this because I'm going to have to do that again as soon as I start recording. So, maybe we should dive in. Maybe we should just dive in. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready to kirk in? You guys ready to kirk in? You guys ready to kirk in? Yeah? Oh, a quick Bella Ciao? I could do that for you. We haven't had a Bella Ciao in a couple of days. Una mattina mi sono alzato. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh, partigiano, portami via. Oh, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, 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 partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morire. Incredible. All right, folks. Somebody said, where are the new advertisements for merch? Haven't made them. Haven't had the time to get around to that. I have not had a white tear ran down my leg. What the fuck? A year of Valenti. I'm so happy to be here. Yes, you are. You're doing great. You're doing great. I'm so proud of you for being here. Tori Denley, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. Did you see the Avengers Doomsday trailer? You mean Goyslop Extravaganza 3? Electric Boogaloo? No, I have not. Did you see that Destiny was stalking Hassan at the event he was speaking at this weekend? No shot. Really? No shot. No shot. Alright, y'all ready? Are you ready? Let me also change the cube. I'm thinking Zoran Kwame Mamdani. Ooh, a donation just flew in. Got a new job after my first paycheck. My first priority is supporting you. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Your first priority should be taking care of yourself. And then I should be your second priority before your wife or children. They're third. All right? All right? All right. Thank you for the $20 donation. Heard that the DSA backed Troy Jackson, already moving forward to replace Plattner in Maine. I did not hear that, but that's very good. I'm glad they've immediately understood the severity of what's going on, that they immediately need to... Didn't the DSA also never endorse Graham Plattner, too? That's so funny if they did that. The DSA never endorsed Graham, but they endorsed Troy Jackson. That's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. All right, here we go. 17 dead U.S. service members and hundreds of casualties. That's the situation we're in. The United States of America is now repeatedly bombing civilian infrastructure only. Trump even tweeted out or posted on Truth Social, he goes, "We're gonna open the gates of hell." We bombed a nuclear power plant. Do you know how fucking insane that is? The IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Association, is like full freak tweak mode. This is like Chernobyl level events. You cannot bomb a fucking nuclear power plant without risking a nuclear meltdown or even a nuclear explosion. It's sort of like a cheat code to use a nuclear weapon without having to use one. But yeah, no, it's bad. We also have the identities of two of the three dead U.S. service members that died over the past 48 hours while the Iranians were sending drone after drone after drone after ballistic missile after ballistic missile bomb. I mean, essentially carpet bombing all of our bases across the Middle East. And they really fucked up one of our bases in Jordan. And then the Iranians came out and thanked the Jordanian people for giving them the target coordinates, right? Now, the thing is, that's probably not true. The Jordanian people probably didn't give them the coordinates, but what that was kind of like a poking and prodding at the Jordanians, who are historically, a lot of Jordanians are Palestinian, including the current queen of Jordan is like half Palestinian. And yet, the Jordanians allow the United States of America to have bases all over the place. It's sort of like a, hey, this is what happens when you allow the imperialist dogmen of the United States of America to launch their missiles from your country. We bomb it. Okay, and now they're probably trying to pin the blame. Like, hopefully what this leads to is the Jordanian government forcing the Americans out of their country entirely, which is, I think, what is happening with Iraq right now. The Iraqis are like, get the fuck out of our country, bro. We're gonna get bombed because of the shit that you and Israel are doing. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about. We have the identities of these people. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the price of the Iran war, the price of gasoline skyrocketing, how much it's affecting you and how much more money you will be paying. We're going to be talking about that bald Nazi at the head of ICE, Tom Homan, the morbidly obese motherfucker who sounds like he's chewing on marbles. Literally, I'm not kidding, literally crying about ICE agents are people too. It's so fucking funny. And then the last thing we're going to do is a little bit of a calmer note. We're going to be talking about how, hi Luigi, we're going to be talking about how Trump tried to force himself into the celebration photo for Spain winning the World Cup, and then they edited him out. And by the way, to the Argentina fans, the Argentinians, this is what happens when you have Rabbi Shmuley on your side. You lose the World Cup, okay? So from now on, whatever team Rabbi Shmuley is rooting for, you are so fucked, you are never gonna fucking win. Anyway, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. If you're new here, this is real independent media. What does that mean? It means you're never going to see me do an ad read. You're never going to see if my video is sponsored by, and then fill in the blank. I never had a conversation with a billionaire, a government, a PAC, any of that shit. The money that I make on this channel is funded by you, the viewer, okay? The only money that I make is through the AdSense revenue that you make on YouTube, the merch sales. If you want to buy merch, we got stickers, we got posters, we got hoodies, we got crop tops, we got mugs, we got all that jazz. That's located down below. You can click the thank you button or thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. That'll give you access to member-only content. And then last, but certainly not least, you can become a paid patron on Patreon. Say that 5 times fast. You can become a paid patron on Patreon. And by doing that for $5, $6, $7, $1 million, whatever you want to donate, you'll get access to all of my YouTube videos on Patreon, and you won't have to watch the advertisements that naturally roll if you don't have YouTube Premium. Okay, other than that, please, real quick, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment your favorite color, and share this video in your group chat of dumb fuck idiots. That costs you nothing, and that helps me a lot. Okay. Without further ado, we are going to dive right into this story because it is fucking nuts. So, 17 U.S. service members have died in the Iran war. Maybe you shouldn't have volunteered to go fight and die in the name of pedophilia and Israel. Why did I say pedophilia twice? Anyway, 17 U.S. service members have died in the Iran war, reflecting a conflict fought largely in the air. This is a little 21-second clip here. Let's see what it is. Oh, this is... Yeah, this is the footage of the missiles that hit the airbase in Jordan. Oh. Hey, and just so you know, we didn't even attempt to fire interceptors, okay? Do you understand why? We, the United States of America, we have used 80% of all of our interceptor missiles already. This is what, day 148? 80% of our interceptors are gone. So what that means is our bases across the Middle East are literally rationing our interceptors. We have to see a missile coming and decide whether or not it is worth using one of our interceptors to shoot that shit down. Just sacrificing the entire Legion of Goyim. It is so insane. So that strike, I'll play it one more time for you. That strike killed at least 2 U.S. personnel. It wounded fucking dozens of other ones. And then the following morning, there was an allegedly, this is coming from CENTCOM, so take everything with a grain of salt if it's coming from the United States government. According to CENTCOM, there was an unexploded Shahed drone. And I'm assuming like a EOD guy, explosive ordnance disposal, went to go disarm that bomb. And by disarming it, I mean detonating it in a controlled manner. And that fucked up. And it detonated in an uncontrolled manner. And a piece of shrapnel from that explosion ended up fucking up this 19-year-old girl from Texas. And by the way, all of the people who died, all of these people are like... they're specialists in like air missile defense programs, right? So the Iranians must have such good intel that they're not just targeting random parts of the bases. They're targeting the missile interceptor specialists. They're fucking up like our specialists. It's real quick, just so you can understand. Here are the 2 people who died. So on the left here, this is the girl, Isabella Gonzalez, 19 years old, of Carrollton, Texas. She was the one who was killed by the unexploded Shahed drone when the EOD tried to disarm it. And then First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan from Hawaii, he was 25 years old. He died in the bombings. And just so you understand, guys, I don't say this lightly. There are far more than 17 dead U.S. service members. The Trump regime is purposefully lying. Safe bet would be between 80 and 100 are dead and literally hundreds of casualties, hundreds of wounded. So, you know, you could thank Donald Trump for this. What did he say? Sorry. He said no new wars, right? He said he is the president of peace, right? That's what he said. Bridgewater, New Jersey, Associated Press. The U.S. military said Sunday that another American service member was killed as part of the war with Iran, bringing the total number of deaths to 17. The deaths reflect the complicated reality that American boots don't need to be on the ground for there to be lethal risks in a conflict that involves drone missiles and airplanes. By the way, important note, the Trump regime is currently publicly planning for a full-scale ground invasion of Iran, beginning with an amphibious assault on Karg Island. This is exactly, and I mean exactly, what I have warned you about for months now. That Trump is stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, he can surrender, which would completely destroy his political career ever. And as you know, he wants to run for a third term, okay? So, and it would just be such a sign of weakness. So on one side is surrender. And then on the other side is a ground invasion and low-yield tactical nukes. And those, he still wouldn't win the war, but there's a chance that he could, right? So because of that, he's way more likely to do that, to be like, well, if there's a chance that I can save my ass. All he cares about is, his political career. All he cares about is his legacy. Trump doesn't give a fuck how many people die. He actually wants people to die in the Middle East because then we'll get a repetition of what happened in the early 2000s, which is, and mark my words, you're going to see this today on mainstream media. Now that a lot of service members are dying, the government is gonna start saying that if Democrats don't approve the increased funding of the U.S. military, they want our service members to die. That's what they're gonna say. Okay, they said this in the early 2000s. They said, if you don't support bombing, if you don't support funding the military, then you actually want our service members to die. Chatter says, Chris, what are you talking about? An invasion, brother, my dear brother in Christ. It won't be an invasion. It'll be a meat grinder. Yes, it'll be an attempted amphibious assault, which will end up turning into sort of like Gallipoli. If you know anything about World War I, Gallipoli was a fucking meat grinder. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Here's what I think will happen. We will do a marine amphibious assault on Karg Island. We'll use amphibious assault vehicles, a couple thousand Marines, try and take Karg Island. We'll get there successfully. There'll be no resistance. They won't have the IRGC military holding the fucking beach like in World War I. Our boys will disembark off of their amphibious assault group. They will move inland. They will set up forward operating bases. We'll take control of the island. And then as soon as our boys sit down and crack open an MRE, you'll see the horizon turn black with thousands of Iranian Shahed drones, and behind them hundreds of ballistic missiles. And our boys and girls won't even have anything to shoot at. It'll be a mass scramble. It'll be horrifying, running in all fucking directions, trying to find some sort of refuge. Meanwhile, we're not even gonna attempt to get them out with our Ospreys. We're not even gonna fucking attempt to pull them out. It's gonna be a fucking slaughter. Anyway, let's keep reading. American forces are arrayed across the Middle East, making other nations targets of Iran as the fighting has escalated after a breakdown in peace talks. The American Führer, Donald Trump, has said the war is necessary to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, the Iranians have been 2 weeks from having a nuke since 1979. Shut the fuck up. All right, first fatalities came soon after the war started. Shortly after the war began on February 28th, an Iranian drone strike at a civilian port in Kuwait killed 6 American soldiers. The soldiers were part of a supply and logistics unit based in Iowa who were working at a shipping container-style building that had no defenses. Best army in the world, right? Best military in the world? No defenses. A 7th soldier, more than a week after being wounded during March 1st attack by Iran on the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. Later in March, 6 service members were killed when a KC-135 refueling aircraft supporting the U.S. military operations in Iran crashed in Iraq. All right, that, by the way, another lie. That plane did not crash in Iraq. It was shot down. Do I have evidence of this? No, because the United States government is lying and they're withholding the evidence the same way that they're withholding information regarding the hundreds of U.S. casualties. The aircraft was in quote-unquote friendly airspace when an unspecified incident involving another aircraft took place, according to U.S. Central Command. That's what matters the most. Anything that is according to U.S. Central Command means it is a half-truth or a bold-faced lie. Oh, real quick, chatter saying, what's up with his nose? I was in Atlantic City all weekend. I had a zit on my nose. It got sunburnt, and it looks fucking egregious. I promise you, I know I look ridiculous, but I look less ridiculous than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Fuck Deer, so just don't worry about it. You pretend you don't see it. I pretend I don't have it. We move on. We're all adults here. Fuck you. Okay, on Monday, the U.S. military said a Navy pilot died in a helicopter crash in the Arabian Sea. Just a crash? I don't buy any of this. The Navy initially described the July 1st crash as an emergency landing and said that there was, quote, no indication the emergency was caused by hostile action. Bullshit. The remaining 3 sailors aboard the helicopter were rescued. Drones and missiles are still claiming lives. It's really the drones and the missiles. We're going to move on, all right? I want to show you just a little bit here. Here's what Donnie Diddle's kids had to say. Every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over. This directive has been passed on to the Secretary of War Crimes, Pete Kegsbreath, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Raisin Kane, and every leader in the military, President Donald J. Trump. He means that, by the way. He does mean that, and he's meant that by bombing civilians. That's what we've been doing all fucking weekend. We are on the 9th consecutive day of American bombs. So it is no longer a refutable fact. It is completely 100% irrefutable to say the ceasefire is over. The memorandum of understanding is kaput. Okay? That is reality. And all of this is because the United States of America and Israel, the axis of Epstein, violated the memorandum of understanding within half an hour of it being signed. Point 1 of the 14 points was that Israel must immediately cease its invasion in Lebanon. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The Iranians knew the MOU would never go through. They knew America and Israel would never be able to follow this. So they purposefully laid out these unacceptable terms, knowing that Donald Trump would sign it because he doesn't read. He will never read it. And then he will have to break his promise. They knew that shit immediately. The Iranians were never expecting us to stop fighting. All right, and then this is really important. This is the second thing he posted. If you don't know, Zoran Mamdani said numerous times on the campaign trail that if Bibi Netanyahu ever set foot in New York City, he would order his arrest, right? This is because Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal, a genocide heir. There is an arrest warrant issued by the ICJ. He is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, a war criminal, and to follow international law, you have to arrest him. This is why Bibi Netanyahu has to fly his plane in like insane maneuvers around specific countries, because some countries will fucking shoot him clean out of the sky. So Trump, he says that Netanyahu will not be arrested when he shows up for the UN. Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any way, shape, or form while in the United States of America. He is fighting against the Islamic Republic of Iran, which recently killed 52,000 innocent protesters. No, they didn't. That's entirely Israeli Hezbollah. If you believe that the Iranians killed 52,000 of their own people, I have beachfront property in New Mexico to sell you. Anyway, killed 52,000 innocent protesters and has spent the last 47 years killing American soldiers and others. Friendly reminder that no American soldier has ever been killed on American soil by an Iranian. Ever. Not even once. And also, all of the American soldiers that have died in the Middle East were there to invade, conquer, and harvest oil in the name of ExxonMobil and Shell, so I couldn't give less of a fuck about a single one of them who died over there. Oh, and they're claiming that every single person who has ever held a rifle against the U.S. soldier in the Middle East was a proxy of Iran. Completely just neglecting the fact that there's a lot of these people who were just defending their homeland from a foreign invader. In no way, shape, or form was every single Iraqi or every single Afghani representing Iran. That's fucking insane. Let's keep going. The only ones that should be arrested are the people that led Iran into this unprecedented spiral of death and destruction. Are you calling for your own arrest? Something that should have been dealt with years ago by previous presidents, President Donald J. Trump. Thanks, Donnie Diddle's kids. All right, so here's the update for today. Iran war updates. 3 U.S. troops killed, dozens wounded as repeat attacks on base in Jordan raise questions. So this is what CENTCOM says, which means I'm going to assume the reality is dozens of U.S. troops killed and hundreds wounded as repeat attacks on a base in Jordan raise questions. All right, what we know about the Iran war today, this is from CBS. At least 2 U.S. soldiers were killed over the weekend in an Iranian attack on a U.S. base in Jordan, and another is listed as missing in action. Oh, this needs to be updated because that person, their remains were found. Friendly reminder of the reality of war, okay? Sometimes people go missing. That doesn't mean they wandered off the base. It means they were literally blown into smithereens. And then they find like, it'd be like if you found my hand with this ring on it and they go, oh shit, that's Valenti. That's unironically what is happening right now, okay? A third American service member died in Iraq after, quote, a controlled detonation of an Iranian drone. 4 Iranian attacks in 5 days on U.S. forces in Jordan have also left dozens wounded, raising questions about whether missile defense systems failed to intercept or even detect the incoming fire. Oh, it's not that they failed to intercept or detect it. It's that we're out of ammo. We're literally out of ammo. Before Operation Epstein's Fury began, there was an official Pentagon announcement that said we only have enough munitions for 4 days of hot war against China. Now we've used 80% of our interceptors. We don't have diddly shit. If we went into war with China, I'm not kidding, we wouldn't even last 12 hours. That's not a joke. The American Führer paid tribute to the fallen U.S. soldiers on Sunday. You call that paying tribute? Do you want to see what he actually said? Paying tribute. Listen to this. This is what he said.
Well, we feel very badly, but those great people, those great patriots are out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Yo, imagine dying for literally nothing in the name of pedophilia. Can anyone in the comments tell me what these soldiers died for? Iran is not developing a nuclear weapon. They never have been. Actually, maybe they are now. They should be now, but this was all based on a lie. We haven't accomplished a single fucking goal. Literally, we've accomplished nothing. All of these soldiers have died for absolutely nothing. Play that again. He doesn't give a shit.
Well, we feel very badly, but those...
You know what my daddy used to say? Everything before the word but means nothing. Yeah, we feel really badly, but... Bro, you're such a fucking scumbag.
Great people, those great patriots are out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily.
How do you lose everything almost, first of all? But you're talking about dead U.S. soldiers who were just killed in a fucking 5-day-long bombing campaign by the Iranians. And you have the audacity to say they've lost everything militarily? What the fuck are you talking about? How does MAGA buy this? How does anybody buy this shit?
Well, you keep hitting me.
He said, you said at the start that the war will only be 4 or 5 weeks. And he goes, you keep hitting me with that one.
This is a 5 weeks. Well, you keep hitting me. This is a far bigger job that we're doing. We were doing a...
Oh my God, he quite literally just admitted that we underestimated them. This is a far bigger job that we're doing. What he's saying is, this is far more difficult than I ever thought it would be. And that's true, dude. We thought of Iran as Iraq or some shit, which, by the way, we lost in. Iran is 93 million people strong. It's a mountain fortress.
A little job is stopping them from...
They're a fucking Shia Muslim population. They believe in death before dishonor, son. Their whole fucking religion is built off of martyrdom. There's no shot you can beat them. There's a reason why no American president has ever gone to war with Iran. It's not because they were stupid. It's because they were smart. They said, oh yeah, no, I'm not fucking opening that can of worms. That's fucking insane.
Having a certain capability. Now we're just ending it.
Oh yeah, now we're just ending it.
So it's really not the same thing. What we're doing now is we're ending any chance where they can have a nuclear missile. If you look at it, after a week and a half, not 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stopped them from probably, but I don't want to have the word probably. Thank you.
What the fuck is he even saying? Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, again, I know we watched this earlier, but here's a full screen video of just one of these missiles hitting our bases. This shit is mind-boggling. Remember, by the way, strongest military in the world, allegedly. The best defense systems in the world, allegedly. Yeah, welcome to reality, son. I feel like a lot of American soldiers have this weird, misunderstanding of warfare because it's always been so one-sided. We've always been pummeling them. Air superiority, pummeling, call in an airstrike type shit. But now you're having the airstrike called in on you. Play that again. Jesus fucking Christ. Luigi, shush. Jesus fucking Christ. To all the parents out there who have children in the military overseas, you feeling confident? You feeling confident that your son or daughter is going to come home under the leadership of a fucking pedophile warmongerer who is blackmailed by the Israelis into keeping this war going forever? You feeling confident now that we've used 80% of our interceptor missiles? You feeling confident? Because I fucking wouldn't. I mean, Jesus Christ. So yeah, here are the identities of two of them that died. The release of the two soldiers' identities come after the U.S. military announced on Sunday that it had recovered unidentified human remains. You know what that means. That's what I was telling you earlier. These people were literally blown into smithereens to the point where they couldn't identify them. Probably identified them by like birthmarks or tattoos on their on a fucking arm they found fucking 50 meters away from the explosion. Jesus ever loving Christ. This girl's 19. This girl was 19 years old, bro. She looks like a baby. 19 years old, bro. Fucking Jesus Christ. U.S. Central Command said military personnel found the remains Sunday at the site of Friday's attack in Jordan. Officials said an examination is underway to determine whether they belong to the missing service member. Good grief. All right, here's some updates from DropSite. DropSite's great for this. The U.S. begins 9th night of strikes in Iran, hitting sites from Tabriz to Chabahar. U.S. CENTCOM said it began a new wave of strikes on Iran at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the 9th consecutive night of the campaign, saying the attacks would keep degrading Iranian military capabilities, quote, used to attack commercial vessels and civilian mariners transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Strikes were reported across the country, a widening from the southern coastal areas hit in the first days of the escalation. Tabriz, the northwestern, oh, there's a map here. All right, so Tabriz is the northwestern city near the Turkish border. So that's right here. Bandar el Khamenei and Bandar el Makashar, Khuzestan. Explosions were heard in both southwestern port cities, FARS reported. Sarbandar was also struck. I'm going to be butchering these names. Forgive me. I'm just a little guinea boy. Konarak and Chabahar, both southeastern coastal cities in the Gulf of Oman, were targeted, and Kerman air defense were activated over the southeastern city, Mer reported, which also said Iranian air defenses shot down an enemy drone in the south. Yeah, so we, the United States of America, have been reverse engineering Shahed drones, and we call them Locust. This is a topic for another day, another video, but I hope you know that within the United States government, there are these evangelical Christians who are trying to manufacture and create the, the story of, what is it? Is it Revelations? The prophecy of Armageddon, where like swarms of locusts come to the sky. We have purposefully named our drones Locust systems, right? I'm not kidding about it. This is another video for another time, but they are purposefully trying to manufacture this prophecy told to John in the Bible. It's fucking insane. Meanwhile, we have the audacity to call Iran a religious theocracy. Meanwhile, we're literally the Christian Taliban. U.S. strikes Iranian nuclear power plant site. You can't do that. Think, Mark. Think. You can't do that. Unbelievable. The United States of America struck the construction site in the Darkovan nuclear power plant in Iran's southwestern Khuzestan province at about 3:39 a.m. Sunday. Iran's Atomic Energy Organization said, calling it an attack on a civilian facility under international safeguards. The IAEA said it is examining data on the reported strike. Quote, the facility is in the very early stages of construction and contained no nuclear material when last visited by the IAEA. All right, that's a good sign. Hopefully there was no nuclear material there. But the problem is, that was when it was last visited by the IAEA. The Iranians kicked out the IAEA after Operation Midnight Fortnight Big Hammer Chungus. When Trump said we obliterated their nuclear power plants. This is last June. So it's been over a year since the IAEA has been there. So there's no way to know. The agency said, adding it does not believe the attack poses a radiological risk, much like the nuclear meltdown in Chernobyl. Director General Rafael Grossi renewed his call for military restraint near all nuclear sites. Iran's Atomic Energy Agency called on Grossi to, quote, move beyond silence and inaction and condemn the strike, citing IAEA resolutions declaring attacks on peaceful nuclear facilities contrary to international law. Construction on the plant in the Karun River, about 45 miles south of Afaz, began in 2022. So now we're playing with fire. Now Trump is willing to bomb nuclear facilities even though we don't even know if there's radioactive material inside of it. Fucking insane. Here's another update from Donnie Diddle's kids.
It was great. It was a great event, yes. Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran did not have a
but watch it again.
nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily.
They've lost nothing, by the way. Nothing at all. They have all of their drone manufacturing. They have all of their ballistic missiles. The IRGC still stands. They have their Navy. They have their Air Force. We have done nothing!
They've got very little left. They've got some missiles. They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability. Not much. We control the Strait.
No, we don't, bro. No, we don't. We don't control the Strait of Hormuz. They do. The Iranians ordered the Houthis to shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Now, I know a lot of Americans don't know what that fucking means. You're probably thinking I'm speaking Arabic, but I'm not. The Strait of Hormuz is the number one waterway for oil flow in the Middle East, right? 20% of oil flows through that. But there's an alternate route where I believe like 7 to 9% of oil flows, and that's to the south of the Bab el-Mandeb, right? Well, the Saudi Arabians, who are allied with the Axis of Epstein, the Saudi Arabians randomly violated a 4-year-long truce they had with Yemen, and they bombed an airport in Yemen. So then the Iranians asked the Houthis, hey, would you close down the Bab el-Mandeb? And they did. They sent drones. Like, bro, we are looking at a global financial crisis, a global depression due to the actions of Donnie Diddle's kids. And what's ironic is, yes, Israel dragged us into this war. Yes, there's a leash around Donald Trump's neck and his master is Benjamin Netanyahu. But the Israelis haven't fired a single missile at Iran over the past, 2 weeks. It's entirely us. It has gone from Donnie being ordered by Netanyahu to Donnie panicking about the fact that he looks like a weak, pathetic, fat-bodied pedophile bitch boy, and now he doesn't want to look weak, so he's like, keep hitting them harder. Brother, it's $6 a gallon for gasoline in New York. $6 a gallon. It's gonna hit 7 and then 8 and then 9, and I told you you're gonna be paying $10 a gallon for gasoline by Christmas. Mark my fucking words.
They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens, but we hit them very hard again.
Yes, the Bab el-Mandeb is the gateway into the Red Sea for access to the Suez Canal. We're talking about the United States of America, who has guaranteed maritime safety for 80 years, losing control, bro. We can't guarantee anything anymore.
Tonight, and we control the Strait. They don't control anything. So we'll see what happens, but we hit them very hard again tonight, and we did that in honor of the probably 3. It's probably 3 as opposed to 2 great patriots.
Yeah, in honor of these great patriots, we bombed a civilian nuclear power plant, we blew up civilian bridges, and we targeted civilian infrastructure. In honor of our 3 dead goyim, we have decided to commit war crimes. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, it's disgusting. More. Iran's energy minister says repairs to the Banji desalination plant, literally just their drinking water. We're bombing their drinking water. Iran's energy minister says repairs to the Banji desalination plant in Jask are complete and water service has returned to normal less than 48 hours after the facility was damaged. Less than 48 hours? Bro, if we relied on desalination plants in the United States, we don't. But if we did, and one of them blew up, that shit wouldn't be fixed for a decade. A fucking decade. We used to be an industrial powerhouse. We are such a fucking joke now. I have another burp coming. Forgive me. All right. The plant supplies drinking water to about 10,000 people across 20 villages in western Jask County. So yeah, no, we're literally just trying to make their civilians suffer. Good God. All right, more here. Just in, CENTCOM, again, it's CENTCOM, take it with a grain of salt. Just in, CENTCOM says the U.S. naval blockade of Iran has redirected 6 commercial vessels and disabled 1 as of July 19th as part of its maritime blockade.
U.S. Navy sailors remain focused and vigilant aboard guided missile destroyer USS John Finn as American forces continue implementing the naval blockade against Iran. As of July 19th, CENTCOM has redirected 6 commercial vessels and disabled 1 to ensure full compliance.
Meanwhile, we don't have control over the Strait of Hormuz, and there's Chinese ships moving through it fucking freely. Not only the Iranians not bombing the Chinese ships, we don't even have the balls to bomb them or to order them to halt. We are such a pathetic fucking nation. All right, so just so you know, nobody supports this war except for the bootlicking MAGA chuds who are quite literally like, yeah, keep on bombing them kids. They're down. That's unironically the only the only ones left who are in support of this war. From the Hill, nearly half of Americans think Iran war will go on for a year or beyond from now. I don't really want to hear Cory fucking Booker speak. I fucking hate this piece of shit.
This is a man who dines at the White House with people who have matters before him, fancy dinners, choosing corporations.
Oh, this is some stupid shit about the Epstein files. All right. Close to half of Americans believe the Iran war will stretch a year or beyond from now, according to a new poll, as tensions reignite between Washington and Tehran. I recently made a video about this on Instagram. I said, what year do you think the Iran war is going to end? Because it's not going to end in 2026. I hope you understand that come Christmas time, we will still be losing this war. We will have so many dead U.S. service members. You can't even fucking imagine it. In a poll from The Economist / YouGov, 46% of respondents said the war will go on, quote, a year or more. Another 46% said the war will go on for, quote, more than a month but less than a year. 6% said the war will go on for more than a week but less than a month. You fucking idiots. And 2% said the conflict has a week or less left. Oh my God. On Tuesday, the Fuhrer said he wasn't seeking negotiations with Tehran at the moment. In an interview with Fox News, the Fuhrer lamented that the Iranian government was evil and labeled the new Iranian delegation as the ones that are stopping the deal. Oh, the Iranians are evil? Did the Iranians bomb an American all-girls elementary school and kill 175 American little girls? And then, when first responders went, did they bomb the American first responders? And then when second responders went, did they bomb the second responders? No, that's us. That's what we did to Iran. Did the Iranians assassinate Donald Trump and his 6-month-old granddaughter? And his son? And his daughter? And his daughter-in-law? Oh no, that's what we did. Oh no, but they're the evil ones, my bad. Earlier this week, the Fuhrer said that the U.S.'s naval blockade on the Strait of Hormuz would be back in place as the U.S. and Iran battled for control of the waterway following exchange strikes over the weekend. Quote, the Hormuz Strait is open and will remain open with or without Iran, Trump said Monday on Truth Social. We are reinstating the Iranian blockade, so named because it is only stopping Iran ships or customers from entering or leaving. All other countries will have fair and open use of the strait, he also said, saying that the U.S. would be called the guardians of the Hormuz Strait. The war with Iran is nearing the 5-month mark. 2-week operation, by the way. 5-month mark, with the conflict stressing the global economy and raising gas and oil prices. It has also been poorly received by Americans in recent polling. In the Economist YouGov poll, 55% of respondents said the U.S. should stop attacking Iran, while 27% were in favor of continued attacks. 18% were unsure about the continued attacks. Just so you understand, this 27% who are in favor of continued attacks are exactly what I was talking about. They're like the red hat wearing toothless hicks of the United States of America that like dropped out of middle school. They didn't even get to high school. These are the dumbest people in the United States of America. And unfortunately, they have the right to vote. So here's the Iran war cost so far. This is estimated according to the information we are allowed to know from CENTCOM. So at a bare minimum, we have spent $113 billion. At the bare fucking minimum. Counter stopped on June 16th, by the way. They're still, we're on July 20th, and the counter stopped. So I can safely assume that we have spent at least $500 billion to lose a war in Iran. I am gonna assume actually that it's probably around $1 trillion, And because of this, gas prices are back at $4 a gallon as the national average. The average price that U.S. drivers pay for gasoline hit $4 on Monday. Fighting between the United States and Iran intensified. $4 a gallon nationally. Here in New York, it's $6. I think in California, it's approaching $9. The Iran war has cost Americans $1,000 per household. And again, that's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. So you have at least paid an additional $1,000 to kill a bunch of children in the Middle East. At least. All right, moving on to just one quick story that'll hopefully make you laugh. You know this fat-bodied, disgusting piece of shit alcoholic who sounds like he has marbles in his mouth? This is Tom Homan. He is the quote-unquote border czar. He is like one of the heads of ICE. Here he is having a literal temper tantrum to the point of tears over the fact that everybody fucking hates him and ICE.
This upward enforcement laws they wrote and that they appropriate us.
I told you he sounds like he has marbles in his mouth.
Not making this upward enforcement laws they wrote and that they appropriate us money to enforce. Now, I'll say it once again, if ICE agents acted improperly or illegal,
if ICE agents acted inappropriately,
be held accountable, just like they were held accountable in Minnesota. Everybody, you know, guys, ICE agents are mom and dads too.
ICE agents are mom and dads too. And they go out and they execute mom and dads. And that's okay, because they're federal officers.
They were held accountable in Minnesota. Everybody, you know, guys, ICE agents are mom and dads too. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day.
They don't have hearts.
To do this job. And it's just not attack on the ICE agents, attack on their spouses and children, and no one knows that better than me.
We're happy about that, Tom. I hope you understand that the overwhelming majority of the American public wants you and your fascist Gestapo LARPing fat-bodied Nazi fucks to never have a moment of peace for the rest of your miserable fucking existences. I want your children to suffer. I want your spouses to suffer. I want all of your loved ones to suffer because you're a fucking Nazi!
I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why?
I can't even get a quarter of milk at the fucking grocery store. I'm bringing home security because everybody fucking hates me.
Me. And it's just not attack on the ICE agents, attack on their spouses and children, and no one knows that better than me. I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why?
God, I wish I had the world's smallest violin on my fucking soundboard. I gotta add that. You know what? Let's just get that going. Hold on. World's smallest violin. Let's get that going. All right, never mind. I can't find it because I'm a stupid fat chud. All right, let's keep on listening.
Why? Because I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting.
And he rage quits. It's pathetic and it's disgusting. And he rage quits because he's about to fucking cry. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, last thing I want to show you, just on a lighter note, here is some German commentators just being brutally honest about Trump. Yo, the Germans have had like a great character arc. They really have 180'd, gone from being like fascist authoritarian Nazis to being like, yeah, no, listen, my grandfather was a fucking fascist Nazi piece of shit, and I know fascism. And this fat motherfucker, he's absolutely a fascist, and he reminds me of Adolf Hitler, especially with his little micro penis.
Finale auf Augenhöhe zu absolvieren.
Full honesty coming from the Germans. So, Spain obviously won. Congratulations. And to the Argentina fans, Rabbi Shmuley was on your side, and you expected to win? Every god from every pantheon made sure that you weren't going to fucking win because of that. But Trump gets up on the stage, and he tries to make everything about him, because that's what he does, and he refused to leave the stage, and it's really funny. And like, sir, get your fat fucking body off the stage. Get off the stage. Get off the stage. Get off the stage. He refuses. And they kind of usher him away. Unfortunately, he was there for the photo. You could see as soon as that goes up, he's standing there, right? Well, get a look. The commentators, what is it? An Australian commentator says, "Oh, they're gonna edit him out of that."
In 2026, the champions of the world are Spain.
Is now, so they can edit him out of that.
They can edit him out of that, and that's exactly what they did. Look at this, dude. Here's where he was. He was standing right here. You saw the footage, and they edited his fat, disgusting body out of it. Bro, I love how the entire fucking world despises Donald Trump. The entire fucking world despises Donald Trump, except for you inferior, subhuman, boot-licking chuds that would let him fuck your own wife, and you would thank him for it. You are incapable of logic, critical thinking, self-preservation. You're in a fucking cult, and I hope you get a chronic illness. Anyway, that's all I got for you for today's Valenti VOD. I hope you had a good time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and share this video in your group chat. That helps me a lot. And then if you want to help support independent media, there's a couple of ways you can. You could buy merch. You can click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member of the channel for $5. You can become a patron on Patreon by donating $5, $6, $7, whatever you want to donate. Massive shouts out to all of the patrons. And then do me one last favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers. That's a fucking banger. That's a fucking banger, right? That was a banger. That was an absolute bangeroni and cheese, if I do say so myself. Right?
Banger!
Banger, 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 banger. Don't you dare cast chronic hemorrhoids on me. I cast Uno reverse. You know, whatever you want me to get, you'll get. Yeah, fuck. Except for good stuff. If you want me to get good stuff, I get the good stuff. Bitch. All right, let's get these videos uploaded. Are there any triggered MAGA in the chat? Because we have a lot of viewers. And I'm kind of popping off on Facebook. There's all these, like, fucking insane right-wing chuds who are like, I hope you get got on camera. So I've been popping off on Facebook, and, like, it's hilarious, dude. I've never seen the way that Facebook people respond, but they're, like, they're so easily triggered. MAGA died months ago. You would think, bro, you would think. But they are so angry all the time. It's so fucking funny. All right, so here's a thumbnail. Absolutely beautiful work. Thank you to Big Daddy Nelson. This is episode 508. What is this, Nelson? That's what I need. I need that on the soundboard. I gotta get that on the soundboard. That's so fucking unbelievably perfect. Excuse me. Okay. Thumbnail, episode 508. Thumbnail, episode 508. All right. Titles. We're gonna go with 17 dead U.S. or 17 U.S. What the fuck is this? 17. What the fuck is going on here? U.S. service members killed in action as the U.S. runs out of ammo. 3 more U.S. service. Oh, service members is 2 words, isn't it? Yeah. 3 more U.S. service members killed in action as Trump plans ground invasion of Iran. The U.S. government is hiding the real casualty numbers. Title: 17 dead U.S. service members so far. More to come. All right, so that is up on Patreon. Ineligible? Oh no. I'll fix it afterwards. What's the problem with it? The World Cup feed? Are you dead ass? It's the World Cup feed? All right, then I guess we'll trim that part out. That's so fucking stupid. Can't add any of that shit. All right, so I'll wait till that is fixed. How long is that going to take? Hold on. 28 minutes. 28 fucking minutes. God damn. All right, well, if you missed the video and you want to watch it, it's already uploaded on Patreon. But I have to wait for that to be done, and then I will have that posted. But I guess for now, we can preemptively film the advertisement for it. Might as well. Okay, here we go. 17 dead U.S. service members so far in Trump's illegal and offensive war and aggression in the name of Jeffrey Epstein fighting his war for Israel. Let's do it again. Let's do that one more time. Why is there a filter on? Okay. 17 dead U.S. service members and dozens of casualties so far in Operation Epstein's Fury. That's according to CENTCOM, so they're guaranteed lying, and the real number is hundreds of dead U.S. service members and thousands of casualties. Friendly reminder that CENTCOM is state-controlled media, and they are absolutely lying about absolutely fucking everything. 3 dead U.S. service members over the past 48 hours, including a 19-year-old girl. All of these people died in defense of pedophilia. It's an absolute fucking shame. To the parents, congratulations, your child is dead in defense of pedophilia, fighting a war in the name of Israel. What else? The Iran war has so far cost the United States of America at least $200 billion. The real number is closer to $1 trillion. Every single household in America has paid an increased at least $1,000. The price of gasoline is now at a national average of $4. Here in New York, it's fucking $6. In California, it's approaching $9. So thanks, Donnie Diddles, kids. Donald also refuses to rule out the possibility of a full-scale ground invasion. This is because he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. On one side, he has the full-fledged American surrender, which would ruin his, political career, and all he cares about is winning that third term. Or I guess winning is not the right term because they won't actually have an election, but all he cares about is having a third term. So one side is surrender, and then the other side is a ground invasion and using low-yield tactical nukes. We'll still lose that. The United States military is completely incapable of accomplishing any goals in Iran. We have literally accomplished nothing. They still have their drone manufacturing facilities. They still have their missile silos. They still have their Navy. They still have their IRGC. Their government is still standing. It's a farce. It's a farce. We are so unbelievably fucked. So we talk about that. What else? The United States of America has only been bombing civilian infrastructure for the past 9 days, 9 consecutive days of bombing civilian bridges, bombing civilian electrical grids. We even bombed a nuclear power plant, completely unsure of whether or not there was nuclear material in there, which would have led to a fucking meltdown and spread radiation across the entire country. But then again, the United States government doesn't think that brown people are people, so they really don't give a shit. On top of that, the fat, disgusting, morbidly obese Nazi who sounds like he has marbles in his mouth, Tom Homan, literally crying, going like, ICE agents are mothers and fathers too. I can't even go to the grocery store without an armed guard. I can't even get it. It's so fucking funny. Bro, I hope you understand that we all hate you. Like, every single American fucking hates ICE. The only people who do hate ICE, or who do like ICE, are un-American psychopaths, okay? These are the people who would be cheering for the Nazis. Anyway, a lot to cover. Latest YouTube video. Go check it out. New video on YouTube. New YouTube video. If I triggered you, let me know. I love triggering vermin. If I triggered you, let me know. New YouTube video. Perfect. All right, we're going to save that as a draft. It's going to say 17 dead U.S. Service. The U.S. is out of ammo. And then the laughing, crying emoji. Yeah, that'll trigger them. Love a little laughing, crying emoji. New episode of the Valenti VOD on YouTube, Patreon. Save that as a draft while we wait for this to finish editing. It says it needs like 23 minutes, so we might as well do something else. Anything in specific you guys want to watch? Also, guys, if you're having a good time, if you're enjoying yourself on this Valenti Videos broadcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to the channel. You know, get a couple of them donos going. A couple of donos going goes a long way. We love a little bit of donos. Yeah, why don't we do some, like, actual news updates, okay? So, yeah, we'll start with this.
Kevin, I know you have new reporting that the U.S. is sending additional military aircraft to the Middle East right now. What's the latest?
Yeah, and this coming as the president is weighing whether to widen this conflict. Now the U.S. sending additional F-16 and F-35 fighter jets from bases in Europe towards the Middle East. The U.S. is also increasing the number of aerial refueling tankers that are in the region, all as these tensions escalate with Iran. Last night, CENTCOM saying that it had carried out the 9th consecutive night of strikes against that country. You see both sides of this increasingly going after some very sensitive civilian infrastructure, including water desalination plants. The U.S. has been hitting roads and bridges in southern Iran. But at the same time, I think what these deaths over the weekend really underscore is that Iran has retained some fairly significant missile and drone capabilities, kind of puncturing the president's claims of total military dominance. What you also hear U.S. officials worry about is that these deaths could potentially show that Iran is beginning how to learn how to evade a U.S.
They're evolving, bro. This war's been going on for 148 days. They're starting to learn about where we do the interceptors. Like, they know when to bomb. They know where to hit. The Iranians are smart, bro. They're learning. They know how to dodge. They know how to bob and weave a little bit. Do a barrel roll. Like, the fuck out of here.
Air defenses in its...
I got donut holes.
Yeah!
I'm so sorry.
Bases across the region. So some real concerns about what an escalation could potentially portend for those U.S. troops that are arrayed across the Middle East. At the same time, you hear diplomats say that they have not closed the door to returning to negotiations. What Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he's traveling in Asia, Wolf, he told reporters overnight that the U.S. remains willing to...
Hey, that's what I just showed you. That's what I just showed you.
Negotiations, quote, if that
First, please roll one under the closet door.
That door opens, and he said that Iran had communicated both directly and indirectly that they were open to returning to the bargaining.
Me, when I watch Americans die in the Middle East.
F-16 fighter jets, F-35 fighter jets,
shit in
along
comfy,
with more
cozy
aerial refueling.
In my air-conditioned apartment, having some chocolate donut holes and some coffee. Now this is the American dream. Thanks for the sacrifice, GI. You died so I could do this. Delish. Delish.
Fueling tankers to the Middle East as these tensions clearly soar. This is pretty significant right now.
It is, and when you look at what we already have in the Gulf region, you've got, of course, carrier strike groups that are in the Arabian Sea, near the Persian Gulf. You've got the aircraft that are already based in areas of the Middle East, including Jordan and Saudi Arabia, as well as the United Arab Emirates and Qatar. So those areas are going
Stop
to
chewing
get
like that, Valentine. Hold on. Unbelievable.
The airplanes that you mentioned, the fighters, as well as the aerial refueling tankers, are also probably going to be augmented by other aircraft such as reconnaissance aircraft and other drones potentially as well. And if all of that moves forward, they'll be coming from Europe, and that will basically set the stage for even further military offensives basically a military campaign against Iran, one that is even more extensive than what we've seen so far.
Joining us now is Ambassador Dennis Ross. He was a special assistant to President Obama on the Middle East peace process and is a counselor over at the Washington.
This is the guy we were just quoting in the interview.
Institute for Near East Policy. Dennis, thanks so much for joining us. Do you expect there will be larger fallout from the deaths of these U.S. service members? Is this war with Iran now going to dramatically escalate?
Yes. Also, again, remember what I said earlier in the video. You are about to start to see the claim from Republicans, especially on Fox News. They're happy that these soldiers died because now they're going to be able to say Democrats who don't support the increased $1.5 trillion given to the U.S. military want our soldiers to die. They're going to be like, but we clearly aren't able to shoot them down. We need more money. This is what they did during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. They said that if you don't support funding the military, and it's not like we want no money to the military. They're saying if you don't support giving us an exuberant amount of money, it's because you want our soldiers to die. That's what you're going to start hearing again. It's literally deja fucking vu. Thank you for the 2-month membership. By the way, real quick, well, yeah, this is now ready to go. All right, so let's get this uploaded, and then we can put those advertisements up while we finish that video. Add suitability, sensitive events. There we go. Public, and then we're gonna have to trim the fat real quick. Publish. Edit. Trim and cut. $17 dead U.S. Here we go. Acknowledge, confirm. Bangaroni, Bangajon cheese. All right, so now we'll watch this while I get those advertisements uploaded.
I don't know that it's going to dramatically escalate, although it's clear the U.S. is moving F-15s and F-35s to the region, is also moving additional aerial refueling tankers. So that suggests we're probably going to increase the scope and intensity of the attacks we're going to carry out. The Iranians, as you just noted, have hit 7 different states in the region. So there is a dynamic here that seems to be an escalatory one, but it's also noteworthy that
thanks for becoming a loyalist.
The Iranians are not hitting Israel, which suggests they know that Israel would hit back in a big way. B, the United States is still not hitting certain
So
kinds of
hungry.
targets.
Nelson, there's at least like 3 or 4 remnants of cat treats that Beans didn't finish, and he plays with them and he kicks them underneath the closet. Eat the fucking party mix.
Meaning we're not hitting power plants, we're not going after energy facilities. And I think the reason for that is we're seeing that the Iranians have the ability to hit similar kinds of targets in the Gulf states. I think.
Yeah, just so you know, real quick, guys, we're bombing their desalination plants in Iran, right? The Iranians do not rely on desalination plants for their drinking water. However, every single GCC nation does, okay? Whether it be Kuwait or the UAE or Qatar, they all rely on desalination plants. So we hit those desalination plants in Iran, nothing really happens. They hit the ones in the GCC, you're going to see the largest mass exodus, the largest, abandoning your nation you've ever seen, because those people only have 7 days of survival if their desalination plants are hit.
Kuwait, and they hit the desalination plant, an electricity related facility, an oil related facility. That was their way of signaling, if you hit these kinds of targets within Iran, we will hit those kinds of targets in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and elsewhere, and the impact on oil prices will be dramatic. So I think there is still a conflict that is being fought within certain bounds. Wolf, the basic problem is there's no way out of the current impasse because the Iranians are insisting they will control the straits.
It's a pimple patch.
They will not.
The Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, says the U.S. is still open to diplomacy with Iran. Iranian officials say they were also open to it. But how does diplomacy even restart at this point? With
He's becoming a loyalist, Ove.
Well, it's not unusual to have force and diplomacy operate at the same time. Oftentimes, each side is using force to try to affect the terms of a negotiation. I think that's what we're seeing at this point. I think both sides actually would like to find a way out. Our reimposition of the blockade has dramatically damaged further an already desperate economy within Iran. The IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard leadership, may speak, strongly and boldly about how that's not going to affect them, but the truth is, it does have an effect on them. But the same is true here. The president is clearly sensitive to the idea of oil prices going dramatically higher. Each side would like to find a way out, but neither side wants to look like it's backing down. It's in that context that you have mediators like the Qataris offering new proposals to start with a 10-day ceasefire, and then you come up with what might be some new mechanisms that involve many of the states.
I think Trump did a Fox News interview. I want to find that. Did he or did he not? Five days ago. Is this it?
President Trump says U.S. strikes will continue in Iran, with each day getting worse than the last. He says he's saving energy targets for last and did reiterate that Iran has
more of our exclusive interview from the White House.
Oh, I think I've seen bits of this. This has been 5 days ago. I've seen bits of this, but why not?
Mr. President, thank you for speaking with Fox News.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We have seen extensive U.S. strikes against Iran for 3 consecutive nights now.
Oh, this is old because we are on day 10 right now of consecutive strikes. But let's just see. Have you guys watched this yet? Why not? Why not?
This comes after the Iranians attacked vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. How would you describe what is happening at this moment? Has the war resumed?
Well, I guess you could define it any way you want, but certainly we're beating them up really badly. They have to be beat up. We're hitting them very, very hard. We're hitting every...
Nelson with his son.
Iranians attacked vessels.
Nelson, when his son is like fully sentient and goes, "Daddy, I like Jake Lang."
In the Strait of Hormuz.
Hold on.
How would you describe what is happening at this moment? Has the war resumed?
Daddy, I like Jake Lang.
Well, I guess you could define it any way you want, but certainly we're beating them up really badly. They have to be beat up. We're hitting them very, very hard. We're hitting every single thing that they have along the shore, along the waterfront. You know, if you look at the Strait of Hormuz, it's now, we're finding it hard to find where they have anything.
Oh, speaking of Jake Lang, I'm sure you guys saw that dumb fucking hideous cunt, Z, whatever the fuck her name is, the one who runs, what is it called? The Unfuck America tour, quite literally like welcomes in Jake Lang with open arms, hugs him, shakes his hand, and doesn't fucking interview him. I'm not watching that, okay, because I genuinely believe in not platforming Nazis. Speaking of Nazis, one of my Mossad agents is calling. Hello, Comrade Mossad. I am live. How are you? Hello? He hung up.
We have to stop it. We have to keep it open. I was going to charge a fee, but instead they'd rather spend a lot of money in the United States, which frankly is better because I don't like the idea of a fee. It's got to remain free because otherwise others will do the same thing. But I think we've made tremendous progress.
So your objectives are to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon, to keep the strait open?
I'm just kidding. That wasn't a Mossad agent, but that was my boy asking if he was saying, yo, check the time. It's goop o'clock. Time to play some Ark Raiders.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
And to degrade the Iranian military. Can those objectives be completed in an air campaign alone? Or does this require a ground component?
Well, I think they're completed now, honestly. If we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild what they have. The only way you can negotiate with these people is through strength.
I said to him, I go, yeah, I'll be on kind of soon, and he sends this. What is that? What if it just blew up? Like the pagers? Crazy.
And the only strength is military.
I'll get peak. I will get peak. I will get peak. Fuck! The more you want me to get peak, the less I want to play it.
Very strength. And that's what we've done. And I mean,
literally, all right, enough. This guy's a fucking fat pedophile. Why am I listening to a fat pedophile? That's what I do for a living, bro. Is just listen to a fat pedophile speak. It's insane. You guys want to watch a morbidly obese Nazi cry?
I want the American people to see what that ICE officer sees when he takes action. And I think it's going to help.
Oh, yo, how about the updates on David Brulette? The Nazi who executed Johann Sebastian Guerrero? That motherfucker is, like, actually the most psychotic man to ever live. Like, he threw his 11-year-old daughter through a glass table. He held a knife to his ex-wife's throat and threatened to kill her. He has tried to kill himself twice. When he told his ex-wife that he was in ICE, she thought he was joking because it was like, there's no way they would ever give you a badge and a gun. Like, the guy is the most violent motherfucker. And the reality is, guys, that's why they hired him. They want violent, paranoid, schizophrenic, nightmarish ghouls in ICE.
ICE, with the false media that's out there about him.
But then why did the administration roll back what the Biden administration is trying to do to get body cameras and all?
That's a question above me. I'm just telling when I came back, and you know, then when Democrats shut the government down, I was a part of that negotiation team up on the Hill. And they kept going to Minnesota. All the mistakes they say happened in Minnesota. I don't think there's a lot of the mistakes they claim in Minnesota. A lot of them were, I don't think, mistakes. But one thing they asked was, we want body cameras. I said, well, there's money, $120 million in the bill you're holding up for me to buy the body cameras. So the reason there's not body cameras nationwide right now because they shut the government down. And anybody doesn't believe that, look it up.
You're a fucking idiot, bro. You're a fucking idiot. Yeah, the reason we don't have body cams is because they're the Democrats.
Now that we have the funding, body cameras have been purchased. As of last week, they were training the trainers. Body cameras are being deployed throughout the country.
How do you need... you have to train the trainers, and then I'm assuming the trainers train ICE on how to wear a body cam? You put it on, and you click record, and then you don't do anything until you clock out. What the fuck? What the fuck does that even mean? You put it on, you press a button, and then you don't touch it. What the fuck?
Training the trainers so they can go to, a Boston field office and train everybody. Here's how you use it. Here's how long you need to keep the tape. And it just wasn't the funding for the.
Here's how long you need to keep the tape. How about indefinitely? I don't know about you guys, but I believe that any and all law enforcement, no matter who you are, should have to wear a body camera. And if I'm being honest, they shouldn't even have the ability to turn it off. It should not be able to be turned off, okay? And then all of that footage should be uploaded to a public server. A public server, not private. I shouldn't need a warrant or to go to a judge to get it. It should just be things that I can access it. Like when I say, what's your name and badge number? They give it to you. I should be able to look up a record and watch all of your body cam footage that you've ever fucking made.
I had to hire a lot of people to handle FOIAs because I'm sure you don't FOIA camera every day.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. I shouldn't need the Freedom of Information Act. I shouldn't need a FOIA request to see your body cam. You are a public servant. You work for me. I should be allowed to see the fucking footage.
We got our people to handle FOIAs. We got in the storage capability of.
Dude, that would be such a good campaign promise. Anybody? Yo, if any of you with Democrat politicians are running or watching, I know you are because we're all friends here. If you're watching this, you should argue and be like, yeah, if you elect me, I will create a public database where all body cam footage is immediately uploaded nightly. And you can type in a law enforcement officer's name and badge number, and you can look at all of their body cam footage. It shouldn't. Do you understand how much these cops rely on the fact that they can just turn off their body cam? These motherfuckers are dog men. Dog men.
Holding millions and millions of video, that's expensive. But now we got the money is being implemented.
You just said that in Minnesota, what happened wasn't a mistake with the shootings that we saw.
He's such a good boy, man. I'm telling you. I ain't never had a gooder boy. Look at him.
Look at how big he is. That's a big fucking cat right there.
All right, you can go. You can go. You can go. You can go. I'm sorry. Forgot to ask for consent there.
Democrats claim all these mistakes were made. And when I sat down with them, they said, well, they want a mask off. No, we're not taking a mask off.
You're saying it's not a mistake.
You're not taking the mask off? That's illegal. You're a fucking public servant. You're not allowed to hide your identity. You fucking bald Nazi morbidly obese fuck. I guarantee you, his wife gets fucking dicked down by some big dicked migrant nightly.
Do you have an update on the investigation that the American people don't know
Look, I went to Minnesota and I said from day one, it was not a perfect operation. There were several chains of command. I had a problem with the targeting. I went out there and made changes. I brought in additional internal affairs agents in. We created one chain.
What does his wife look like? I'm assuming a fat, disgusting pig bitch.
And I see a lot of people out there saying that, we surrendered Minnesota. No, we didn't. We got agreements that keeps that city safer, keeps the officers safer, and keeps the aliens safer too. Because the more aliens we can arrest in the safety and security of a jail means less criminal aliens being released to the street. So we were able to go up there and continue the operation, but we had unprecedented agreements where less criminal aliens are hitting the street, which is good for that state, good for that city, and safer for our officers. That's a win across the board.
Mr. Women, on the ICE officer in Maine, is there more any?
Here's his wife. Yeah, that tracks. This one? Doesn't really matter which one. They're both fuck ugly piglets. Whole fucking bloodline of fat, disgusting, toothless, bald dorks. Look how fat this bitch is. Look how ugly this one is. Oh my god. They're so fucking ugly. Holy shit.
Is there any more clarity on how he got his job?
Oh, the sexism is in the house? Those aren't people, dude. Yeah, no, I'll literally call her a slur. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. See, this is the problem with liberals, bro. They are executing us in the street, and you liberals are like, stop calling her a fat bitch! That's sexist! They're literally killing us, and you're too afraid to use words. Fucking pathetic liberals.
Vetting concerns that his wife has raised. Are there potential changes coming to the vetting process of ICE agents?
That's a question for ICE. That's under
oh, wait, then we're asking about the psycho, David Brulette.
On the ICE officer in Maine, is there any more clarity on how he got his job, considering the vetting concerns that his wife has raised? Are there potential changes coming to the vetting process of ICE agents?
That's a question for ICE. That's under investigation. I'm sure that part now is part of the investigation. We'll let the investigation play out. I'm not going to comment on the investigation. This is ongoing.
The New York Times found a review that 550
Mark Wayne Mullen as the DHS secretary. What would you describe as the difference?
Yeah, guys, when they go low, go lower. That's how you win. If you're, I've said this so many times. If I'm playing chess with you, and you move your pawn as if it's a rook, and I go, hey, that's against the rules. And you go, whatever. You've already won the game. It doesn't matter. But if you violate the rules, I'm gonna violate the rules. You move your pawn like a rook, I'm moving my pawn like a queen. You do it again, I'm flipping the table and beating the shit out of you.
Between his management style and the management style of his predecessor.
And let me say this. Someone shared an ex-post this morning. There are people out there who want to attack this current administration. They don't think we're doing enough.
Doing enough? People think that we're not doing enough. Bro, you're doing way more than what is needed.
This morning, someone shared to me, someone named Marianne or somebody. The ICE was arresting 3,000 aliens a day.
Yeah, you have daily quotas, and there are not enough violent, undocumented immigrants, so you have to literally round up innocent U.S. citizens and legal residents.
No.
Hello, comrade.
Not once.
I did see the clip of Donnie at the World Cup trophy ceremony.
Not a single time do we arrest 3,000 aliens. And now they're saying we're arresting 2,000. We're hitting about 2,000 pretty steadily. Like I said this weekend, I looked at the data, arrests are up about 40% over the same time period that we've been funded. Now, I've been frank from the beginning, numbers were down for a few months because the department was shut down. Of course, numbers are going to go down when targeting less and officers, less overtime and all those other reasons. When you shut, the government down, there's going to be less to do. So, and I was very honest from day one. The numbers were down 12 to 16%. But now the numbers are trailing up 40% because we are fully funded. I thought they're doing their job. But
oh yeah, the Tate brothers were arrested. That shit's hilarious.
I'm really tired of the false narratives going out there about what this administration is doing. The numbers are up. Last month, June, highest numbers of arrests in the history of the agency.
How many?
Then I see people say, wow, you're combining CBP numbers or Coast Guard. No, I didn't. The numbers I quoted this weekend were ICE numbers. So I wish people would do a little bit of research before they start attacking this.
If me saying Jesus Christ should get on his hands and knees and throat my cock, if that pisses you off, you're absolutely in the wrong chat, bro. I disrespect every religion equally, okay? I'm equal in my hatred of religion. I will disrespect your Messiah. I'll tell Muhammad to fucking eat my ass while Christ blows me. I don't care. If you're triggered, cry.
This administration, what we're doing right now, our numbers higher than ever been. And I'm sick and tired of people saying we're not doing enough. That's an insult to every ICE agent that's strapping up every day, working 6 and 7 days a week to get this done. It's an insult. These men and women are acting professionally. They're out there making record numbers. And people want to question numbers. I guess that's your right. But let's compare facts.
I just have a question about the difference in the management style of those.
Me and Mark Wayne want to get along well, and And, you know, he cares about the mission. We serve different roles. ICE and CBP reports to Mark Wayne Mullen. I'm here. I help Stephen Miller. We develop strategies that send down to the programs for implementation. So we got different roles. But I think Mark Wayne Mullen's doing a good job.
But sir, should the FBI investigate these ICE agents if they confront people? That is what the New York Times is saying. That's what their reporting is.
I feel like this guy has sleep apnea while he's awake.
They have something that 550 people had charges brought against them for assaulting federal officers. Of the more than 400 cases that were resolved, nearly half had unraveled.
You know what's going to help, though? The body cameras. They didn't have body cameras. A lot of these confrontations happen. Again, I think body cameras are going to help. Look, again, I'm not going to comment on these investigations.
That's the answer, not FBI investigating it, is what you're saying.
As far as I know, there's been no change in policy. The FBI and DHS just responded to that story and didn't agree with it. Again, I'm not in the loop on that. I can just tell you from my experience, FBI has always been involved in shooting investigations. HSI, they're the criminal investigation part of ICE. They do the majority investigations in 111, which is assault and beating an officer.
How are the training procedures changing? You talked about training the trainers. How are those training procedures changing? And
they're not changing. The trainers for the cameras. How do you operate the crim? What's the requirements? When do you turn it on? When do you turn it off?
He just said, how do you operate the crim? What the fuck was that, bro? This guy really actually is one of the worst speech impediments I've ever heard.
How do you operate the crim?
How do you operate the crim?
An officer.
How are the training procedures changing? You talked about training the trainers. How are those training procedures changing? And
they're not changing. The trainers for the cameras. How do you operate the crim? How do you operate the crim? How do you operate the crim? How do you operate the crim?
What the fuck? Are you having a stroke, you fat bitch?
What's the requirements? When do you turn it on? When do you turn it off? How quick do you need to store the data? How long is the data being stored? So there's a lot of work into this and training the trainers.
It sounds like he's choking to death on his tongue.
And they go to the field office with the equipment and they implement and deploy it and tell people here's how you use it and here's how you control it.
Are there
So what's the timeline then for every immigration agent to have a body camera?
As soon as possible, if I have my way.
So you're satisfied with the training right now of ICE agents? Nothing needs to be improved.
There's always room for that's a loaded question. There's always room for
what the fuck did he just say?
There's always room for that's a loaded there's always room for that's a loaded question. There's always room for that's a loaded
what the fuck?
Loaded question. There's always room for improvement. Things change all the time. FBI updates their training. DEA updates their training. Every police department updates their training. Because ICE used to, look, you can never be overtrained. I wish there was more training.
I think American people want the answer of when every ICE agent will be wearing a body camera. I know you said as soon as possible, but is there a timeline floating around within?
That's a question for ICE. I know they got the deployment schedule, and I know they got the equipment. That's a question for ICE. I'm not in the weeds that deep.
Is this administration required to turn on their cameras at all times during a traffic stop?
Yeah. Yes.
And what's the consequence if they don't?
More about the quantity of ICE agents over the quality of the agents?
Say that again.
Is this administration more concerned about the number, the quantity of ICE administrations that it deploys over the quality?
I can't speak for everybody in the administration, but quality agents are very important. So it should be all. You won't give somebody a badge and gun; they need to be the best they can be.
So are there going to be reevaluations then of the hiring?
That's a question for ICE.
Is there any other procedure or protocol on the ground changing? Stops.
There's already, the director of ICE decided that there needs to be at least one body camera on the scene. And again, I'm a big supporter of the body cameras, and as more body camera gets out there, they all happen.
That's the only change.
But let's be clear, you can attack the men and women at ICE all you want. It comes down to one simple fact. These people fail to comply with law enforcement. Even some of the major chiefs in this country who...
They died because they failed to comply with masked Gestapo agents. Okay. Yeah.
Don't necessarily agree with this administration. It says you always comply with law enforcement. But the hateful rhetoric that ICE isn't a real law enforcement agency. I see these signs that were resist. ICE are let's abolish them. They're fascists. When you keep that hateful rhetoric up for a year and a half, there's going to be that percentage of that that population that's going to be emboldened to take action because they're not real law enforcement. They see I should resist them.
You're right. They're not a real law enforcement agency, and we should be resisting them. And that resistance is growing every day, Tom. Every single day. And what do you think is going to happen when you no longer have a pedophile fascist in charge? You think you guys are just going to get to live normal lives? Is that what you think? Think you're just going to go back, go to the grocery store, go on a little vacation? That's not what's going to happen, Tom. That's not what's going to happen.
All they had to do is simply comply with law enforcement. If you don't like what law enforcement did to you, then go to the court, sue.
Can't go to the court if you get shot in the fucking face, Tom. Can't go to court if you get murdered in cold blood, Tom. You can't go to court if you get thrown on the ground and have 16 shots emptied in your spine, Tom.
Tell you, do whatever you want to do. But you should always comply with law enforcement. If they did, they'd be alive today. Now, I'm not going to comment on the investigation itself and wait for it to play out. This is about
he just said if they did,
law.
they'd be alive today. So he just said if they had complied, they would be alive. That he's not implying that they did anything criminal, anything to deserve being killed. He's just saying if they had complied, they would not have died. That's the state of the United States government. Comply or die. You know, we have a Second Amendment for that very reason.
Enforcement and a lot of the negative, hateful, and I said this a year ago, if a hateful rhetoric doesn't stop, there will be bloodshed. And unfortunately, I was right. And I'll tell you something else, it's not over yet. Unless they keep attacking and miscommunicating what ICE does every day, calling them Nazis and comparing ICE to the Nazi regime. Are you kidding me?
No, we're not. You clearly have never read history. You clearly know nothing about the Nazis. Your ICE agents are the exact equivalent of the Gestapo. Only difference? The Gestapo didn't even wear masks. That's the fucking difference. The Gestapo were at least man enough to not hide their fucking identities. But your little rat fuck Nazi agents, they're afraid. They're afraid of consequences. But our consequences are going to reach them no matter what.
And I'm not saying the whole country's convinced, but there's going to be that population that's just going to embolden to do something stupid. And I'm afraid that we're going to bury an ICE agent. I'm afraid I'm going to hand him up.
I'm afraid that we're going to have to bury an ICE agent. Oh no. Nazi down in Sector 1 Bravo. Who gives a fuck? I will cheer. I will blow up fireworks the day that fucking happens.
They fold a flag to a spouse or a child of an ICE agent for simply doing his job.
I'll literally get in the face of a child whose father was an ICE agent and go, ha ha, your dad's dead. I'm glad he's dead. Ha 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 ha. I will do that. I'll do that to a fucking 5-year-old kid. I have no sympathy for their entire fucking bloodline of inferior vermin.
And for any member of Congress to keep attacking ICE and calling them fascists and Nazis, I said it 1,000 times. If they're a Nazi for enforcing the law, what's that make them? They wrote the law.
It makes them compliant. It makes them complicit to fascism. They need to go to jail too, just like you do, fucker.
I'm making this up. We're enforcing laws they wrote, and that they appropriate us money to enforce. Now, I'll say
wait, yo, this is a great sign. Did you see the panic in his, we have actually reached the point where the head of the Gestapo is saying, why are you mad at us? Go blame the politician. They fucking told us to do it. Do you understand how much of their bravado has to have broken down for him to say that? Listen to this.
For enforcing the law, what's that make them? They wrote the law.
Dude, no, this is good news. This is good news. They're pointing fingers at each other. This is what happens when the House of Cards collapses. Everybody blames everybody. The fucking high-ranking Nazi officials were like, no, this is coming from the government. The low-ranking Nazis were like, no, this is coming from my superior officer. No, and then the high-ranking guy, no, this is coming from Hitler himself. This is great. They're afraid. They're afraid.
We're not making this up. We're enforcing laws they wrote, and that they appropriate us money to enforce. Now, I'll say it once again. If ICE agents acted inappropriately,
yo, this is really good. They're afraid, gang.
Or illegal, they'll be held accountable, just like they were held accountable in Minnesota. Everybody, you know, guys, ICE agents are mom and dads too. They don't hang their heart on a hook every day to do this job.
You would need a heart to hang it on a hook, brother.
And it's just not attacking the ICE agents, it's attacking their spouses and children, and no one knows that better than me.
Aww.
I can't even go get a quart of milk at a grocery store without a security detail. Why? Because I'm enforcing laws in this country. It's pathetic and it's disgusting.
Thanks, Tom.
He's so triggered. He's so triggered. Aww. He gonna cry. He gonna cry. All right. That's all I got for you. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. I love you all. Thank you so much. I had a great weekend. I needed that time off. I'll see you tomorrow, though. All right? Whoops. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye. Bye. Bye.